Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day curd nerds. I'll just clear all that. Welcome back. Pardon me. I was just smiling because I was looking at myself in the intro saying g'day curd nerds, and I thought, gee, how young I look there. Goodness me, the years are catching up with me, I tell you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This is episode 370. That's a lot of episodes. So on this fine last day of winter here in Australia, we stop our winter. Our winter goes June, July, August, and then spring starts in September. Not at the equinox. Anyway, Big shout out to all of the patrons and members. Thank you to new members, Merv, who's upped his membership to a new level. Blank Faces Live, Diesel Gravy, Heartish, Colonoscopy, and Richmond. Thank you all for your memberships, whether you got them free as part of the free ones we give away, or you've upped them yourself. Thank you so much, and thank you to all the other YouTube members there. Without your help, the show wouldn't go on. And then on to the patrons. We've still got lots of patrons paying monthly for all of the advice I give. Thank you so much to all of the patrons as well, and your continued support for the channel. Without it, this weekly show wouldn't go on. Let's say good day to a few people before I tell you about all the other exciting or not so exciting stuff that's going on. Big shout out to Merv, who was the first person today, I think. Yep, and the next, who will? And we have Patricia, Jeff, g'day to you both. I think Fiona was next, and then Jared, g'day Jared, and then Richmond, or Richard. What else we got there? A few others came in, I'm sure they did. Lots of chitty chat. Oh, Liz over in New Zealand. And Clinton Summer. Looks like both of them are there now. The Rennet Works, who is Matt. Who else? Did I say Fiona? I think I did. I think that's about it that's jumped in the chat so far. The Rent Reviews, of course. G'day to you, mate. And if you haven't said g'day, jump into the chat now. Mr. Loud Doggy, welcome to you indeed. Okay, so we do have the gallery at, now it's going to be at 20 minutes past the hour today. Remind me or I'll forget. It's a long one. We got lots and lots of entries. And yep, for Jill, I've got my cup as well. And whoever else has got a Curd Nerd cup, thank you so much for supporting the show via the merchandise as well. I only get a little bit out of it, but as far as revenue goes, but thank you so much for anybody who's bought some of the lovely stuff that I have in the merch store. Okay, Awis, I think that's how you say it. A-W-A-I-S, Awas, something like that. G'day anyway, g'day mate. Welcome back. Okay, so the big announcement this week is shipping. How can I show this? Let me have a look. If we go to the second monitor and have a look at the channel page, go to posts, and there was a big post this week over on the post. Let me read it to you, shall I? G'day Curd Nerds. As you know, I have a little online store that stocks cheesemaking kits, supplies and equipment at affordable prices for the Curd Nerd community. So today, sadly, I must announce the following urgent statement, which I never thought would be necessary. Dear US-based customers, this morning we received notification from Australia Post, our international carrier, of the following. As a result of the recently introduced changes to the import tariff requirements set out by US Executive Order 14324, Australia Post has joined a number of international postal operators to temporarily suspend partial postal services to the United States and Puerto Rico, effective immediately until further notice. Okay, enough said of that. So what I've said after that, you can read it yourself. Therefore, all cheese-making products that were previously able to be shipped to the US and Puerto Rico have been removed from sale and shipping to those countries on the Little Green Workshop's website. Once Australia Post lifts the suspension, we will perform a return on investment analysis regarding any extra requirements needed to be implemented on our website to determine if it's worthwhile for Little Green Workshops to reinstate shipping to the US and Puerto Rico. We will let everybody know once the decision has been made. Sorry for any inconvenience caused to our wonderful American and Puerto Rico cheese-making customers. Yours in cheese, Gavin and Kim Weber, Little Green Workshops. So, that was the statement of the week. So that was a bit of a shock to, well, it wasn't a shock. We knew something like that was coming, but yeah, it was a shock to Kim and I. That's 5 to 10% of our revenue as far as cheese-making supplies go anyway. So that was a bit of a worry. Not much I can do about it. Once we know the requirements, then we'll come back and see if we can ship to the US, if it's not too onerous as far as time and all that sort of stuff. And the price will go up, obviously, because there'll be a tariff on top of it. And we'll have to reflect that in our store. So, until such time, though, I do have some good news for any US-based customers watching. We do have an Amazon store. Well, it's an Amazon affiliate store. I'll just show you. Pardon me. Here it is here. So what I've done is I've curated a list of cheese-making supplies that I recommend and use myself over on Amazon, the US Amazon. Can I get a link to all of this? Can we get a little link? There we go. All right, I'll put that in the chat, but it's at the bottom of every single video that I produce anyway. So yeah, that's our Amazon store, and we stock a whole. I've got 47 items in there. I'm going to go through Amazon US and check out some more stuff. I need some more starter cultures and stuff, but I got all the books, a few kits, heaps of books that I recommend, like Lisa's and Tracy's book, and Ricky Carroll's 4th edition, 200 Easy Cheesemaking. So all the books are there, including the Inkbird external thermostats. And the sous vide that I use, the precision cooker, the Inkbird one, and a whole bunch of supplies that I've managed to find that are very similar to the ones that we use. So if you're in the US, go and check out that store there. Link in the chat and the description of just about every video. So that's the solution that I've come up with so far. I think I may even stick to it, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's the news there. Also, on the communication front, and I'm late to the game. We have a Discord server. So I don't know how many of you are into Discord. I know it seems to be it's more for, well, anybody a lot younger than me anyway. It took me ages to figure out how to do it. But I've called it the Curd Nerd Gaming and Cheese server, for want of a better word. Yeah, can I share? I'll share the cheese. Yeah, so I've got a cheese section down here. Oh, my head's in the way. Hang on, can I move my head? I'll just move it for a second. There we go. So we've got some gaming, general the games that I play over on Curd Nerd Gaming. And I've also got a cheese making section down here. And we've got cheese chat. If you want to jump in the cheese chat, that's fine. What I can do is send an invite. Let's get an invite. Let's just copy that. Put it in there. If anybody wants to have a chitty chat, they can do that. There's the Discord. Yeah, that's always good fun. And then also I've got some voice channels. There's a Cheese Public channel to talk voice. I'll hang out there occasionally. And then I've got a cheese live stream. This is something I'm thinking about doing, is during the live streams like now, that I could have, I don't know, it's a weird concept. Let me know in the chat whether you think this is a good idea or not, is to have live callers on, you know, like, I don't know, watch the Dave Ramsey show. You've seen that, live callers come in. He's got phone numbers, but I'm thinking Discord's a bit easier. And answers people's questions on the, well, it's not on the phone, it's on a live chat. So I'm thinking, because I can display it in the software that I'm using as well. There'll be little bubble head things that pop up. I think it'll be pretty cool. I'd like to do an experiment. So I may do a midweek one if anybody is interested, and you know, we could also just generally hang out and have a cheese chat and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking that this cheese live stream voice channel would be very interesting to have a chat and show it during a live stream. So yeah, I'll give it a go. All right, thanks, Liz. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Anyway, so we do have a Discord server. I've sent the link to one of the chat channels. There's also a cheese photos that's got nothing in it at the moment. But what I'm thinking of doing, and it may be a little bit prohibitive to people that don't have Discord, it's easy enough to create an account. It's so simple. Is ask people to put their photos here, because my mailbox is always filling up. Because like this week we got so many photos, I'm going to have to start at like 20 past. And if I rolled them over to next week, I'll probably have just as many photos and keep on going. But that's I love the photos, right? Don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking this is a great place for people to upload their photos. And all you do is go into the cheese photos, type, you know, whatever you say about the photos and your message. And here you can upload a file, which is something that you can't do on YouTube. So you can upload a photo and, you know, Bob's your uncle, it appears in here. And we can share them here. So that's an idea. I'll see how that goes. If people choose to use it, you know, I'll just share the cheese photos one as well. It might even be the same link. I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a different link. But anyway, it generates a new link every time. So, yeah, cheese photos. And yeah, you can post them there. I got no hassle or whatsoever. It's going to be a good little community space. Anyway, enough said about that. Back to the head. I see that we got a question in the chat. The first question of the day goes to the voice of reason. Let's have a look. Okay, it says, hi Gavin, I hope you're doing well. I'm making your Jarlsberg recipe. My cheese has been vac packed for 6 weeks now, but no signs of expansion. Any advice? Yes, indeed. As soon as you said vacuum pack, that's the advice. Okay, so problem is, you vacuum pack it, the atmospheric pressure is pressing against the cheese. The cheese is trying to expand by creating CO2 and creating the eyes. So during the warm phase, so there's initial cold phase, right? You put it into the cheese fridge for, I think it's a week or so, 10 days, something like that. It's in the recipe anyway. And that's at 13 degrees Celsius. And then you take it out of the cheese fridge and put it somewhere in a ripening box, preferably, so you can keep it clean. Somewhere between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius. Can be a little bit more, but tends to have a runaway expansion effect. But between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius at about 80% humidity, right? Simple enough to achieve if your house is decently insulated, and for about 2 to 3 weeks it begins to create the eyes. That's when it expands. Then after that time you put it back into the cheese cave at 13 degrees Celsius. You can wax or vacuum pack it. Vacuum packing not so much, probably. It applies too much pressure on the cheese, whereas waxing just creates a dome around it. Every time I've made a Jarlsberg, I've always just waxed it. And then, yeah, it'll maintain its shape. Vacuum packing it, it'll squish it a bit, and you'll lose some of the eye formation. That's my advice. Follow what happens. It should have swelled up during the warm phase. You'll visibly see it doing it. It'll puff out top and bottom, sometimes at the sides as well. And that's when it's creating the eyes. So that's the advice, the voice of reason. Hope that helped. Merv says he's not working that hard, but I can't do my job until they unload the train and they load the ship and they got issues, so going to catch the show in the ute. Good on you, mate. For those who don't know, Merv does fumigation services, so we have strict quarantine laws here in Australia, so when we, I think, load and unload, before they load and unload, they fumigate whatever for pests and insects that may come into our country and destroy our crops and that sort of stuff. So the MRF does a sterling job protecting the biosecurity of Australia. So good on you, mate. Thank you very much. If anybody's got any other questions, throw them in. Oh, there's another one from Liz. Sorry, Liz, I missed that one. Shouldn't have, because it's got the 3 Qs. Better than the far Q. Anyway, I made a Romano yesterday, which turned out only about 1 centimetre thick. Goodness me. The thinnest cheese ever. Any ideas what could have caused it? All right, so there's a couple of things. Right, so it depends on what type of milk, and I think, Liz, you use raw milk exclusively. Part of the lactation cycle, the proteins go down in the milk, so you don't get as much body in the milk. In a cheese that you make with the milk, depending on the lactation cycle. I think cows and sheep and goats are coming back into season now, so they should be starting to produce milk for their youngs. 5 litres, well, that'll be it. Right, so my Romano recipe is between 10 and 12 litres of full cream milk, or whole milk, that hasn't had any cream skinned, and that's why mine are as big as they are. So 5 litres, you'll get a smaller cheese anyway. Remember, it's a very high temperature cooked cheese, Romano, very similar to Parmesan, or the cheese that can't be mentioned. So you get tiny, tiny grains of curd, right, once you've done all the stirring and stuff. So that reduces the yield because there's so much whey expelled during the process. So you'll get, if you only use a little bit of milk, 5 litres is a small batch, you'll get a very thin cheese. So there you go. That's what's happened. Okay. If anybody else has got any questions, throw them in the chat. That would be fantastic. We're at 18 minutes past, so time to answer 1 or 2 before we get the massive gallery underway. So please throw them in there. That would be lovely. Did I have anything else to talk about? No, that's it. Liz says, thanks, Gav. So it could be the best Romano ever. Yeah, it'll be fast maturing, that's for sure. So, one thing I would suggest is it'll dry out really quick, Liz, because it's so small and there's hardly any moisture in it at the moment anyway. So what you may do is, let me think. Either wax or vacuum pack it. Make sure you do that because it'll lose too much moisture otherwise. So do that at about 2 to 3 weeks of natural aging. So you get a little bit of a rind, but then either wax or vacuum pack it after that because it'll just dry out way too much. Especially if you're going to age it out to past 6 months, which Romano I wouldn't open in the size that I make anyway, Liz, is I wouldn't open it before 10 months, or you just don't get the flavour profile. It's a bit so you want some decent flavour. So thank you very much, Patricia. And the last question before the gallery, thank you, is thank you for asking my question. Could I remove the cheese from the vacuum pack and place it in a ripening box at this stage? Will it still create the holes? Is my cheese now forever unholy? I think it will be unholy. I wouldn't try and create the warm phase now. It's too late in the process. The propionic shamani only hang around for a while before they break down and turn into enzymes. So I think you'll have something more like Gruyere with very, very tiny holes and a lovely flavour if you do age it out. So anyway, that's the go. Liz says 10 months, definitely I'll vac pack it. Yeah, indeed you should, or it'll dry out too much. Anyway, time for the gallery. Curd nerds. Let's just pop it up, go to the second monitor. There it is there. Let me just get my head back in the right place again. Oops, that's not where you do it, Gav. You do it over here. Okay, so right now, so I'm looking, see, I'm looking at the photo. That's the best place to be. Right, so where's all the letters, the emails and letters? Right, so this is from Adam Flores from California. It says, hi Gavin, last week I made a 2-gallon batch of your cranberry queso fresco recipe. I included pictures from milk to cheese. I understand if you can't use all the pictures. Sincerely, Adam of California. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, so there's the cut curds. Adam's got his cheese in his press. He's made a spring press similar to, I don't know, this is a very old one by the looks of it. Is that one of the earlier models I shipped out, or is this one he's made himself? I think it's one he's made himself, because the springs are up here. Oh, he's using the wood to press it down. Right, a little bit of a different design. But that basket's interesting. Can we get in close into that? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's got a funny thing at the top here, but that's cool. And it's got must have some sort of follower there. Couldn't press much further down than that, really, because of the wood bar, unless you put like a can or something in there, inside, like a like a can of beans or whatever in the middle. But yeah, interesting press. I like that. All right, so that's after the. No, that's as he's put it in. That should have been first, as he's put the curds in. But nice distribution of cranberries, and there's the final pressed cheese. Lovely, ready for aging. Looks great, Adam. I like it a lot. So, congratulations on an amazing queso fresco. You would have eaten it straight away. Probably, I wouldn't have aged it out much, because it's a fresh cheese, right? You don't age queso fresco out very much. Anyway, the next one is from David Kelly. No, this is a question. This will come at the end. Let's put this all the way to the end, because there's no photo with this question. All right, so the next one is from David Gunderson. It's got a nice picture of a castle blue here. Let me just hide those so the picture's better. That's better. So there's his castle blue. He says, hi, Gavin. So I'm a little disappointed on how one of my cheese wheels turned out. Just for reference, this cheese is about 3.7 inches across and has been aging at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, approximately 85% humidity for 6 weeks. The veins are great, but there's some kind of orange mold that concerns me. The texture is a little chalky and the rind is a little crumbly in a bad way. The flavour is not blue cheese like at all, and almost cheddar-like with a hint of bitter and some nuttiness. I was expecting something more creamy and soft because of the added cream in the recipe. Okay. Today I tried it because of this wheel is smaller to the other one, and I wanted to use it as a reference point for where the other one might be. I'm hoping that the other, more massive wheel will be better. Okay. So there is, there's the cheese cut open. Yeah, not much vein, the veins are okay, and you got some marbling in the middle. So, first thing I noticed is I think the curds, it's a very small cheese, by the look of that knife. The curds must have been quite small, because there's no gaps in the paste. Can I flip this around? It's upside down, but it just shows me a better perspective. So there's hardly any gaps in the paste where there's air, where the cheese, the penicillin broke 40 has got into the cheese, and it's only stuck in the veins. There's a little bit, you can see there's some, but it's not consistent all the way through the paste. That tells me that the curds were either very small and compacted really quick, and weren't a little bit chunky, as they normally tend to be with this style of cheese. That's my only thoughts from that so far. Let's have a look at another photo. So he's worried about the orange mold. That's not orange mold. That's the penicillium roquefort 40 that's died. Okay. So that's all that is. It's not any special mold. That's just the leftover, the enzymes broken down by the Penicillium roqueforti. So that's all that is. So that's nothing to be worried about, right? And you see that again, right? And the reason it's not tasting very blue is because there's not enough Penicillium roqueforti distribution through the entire cheese. Now, this cheese looks like it may have been pressed. I don't think the Castle Blue recipe has any pressing in it. So I just want to throw that out there as well. It's another thing that could be a problem. As far as a little bit of bitterness goes, sounds like the cheese could have, and it's crumbly, it's not smooth, right? Because there's extra cream in that recipe. Sounds like the acid profile was a little bit off. So the more acid in the curds at the pressing, or not pressing, the formation time, it's not pressed, okay. So the more acid profile it has, so the higher the acidity, the more crumbly your cheese is going to be. And sometimes with these short-aged cheeses, they tend to be a little bit bitter as well if there's too much acid. Cheeses also tend to be bitter if there's not enough salt added to the cheese. So that could be a consideration as well, because you said you got a small one and you got a large one. With these sorts of cheeses, you need to do at least 2 to 2.5% of salt per weight of curds. So, yeah, it's got a little bit more here. So I do believe David is Mr. Loud Doggy. Do you think I should let it age longer? If so, how much longer? On the outside it looks similar, but a healthier looking white mold mixed in with the blue. Oh, okay, so that's fine. Any advice on how to proceed with the larger wheel would be appreciated. Okay, so the larger wheel will have more moisture. It may be less compact, depends. If you put a different level of salt, then that would be fine. The cheese may not be bitter. So with this one here, I would treat it like a cheddar, right? Because it's more compact like that. So I'd vacuum pack this and I'd age it out for another couple of months, and you'll see that the bitterness may go away if it was salted well enough to the right level. It'll still stay crumbly. It won't go much. It'll be creamy on the mouthfeel because it's high fat, right? But yeah, it'll tend to be a little bit more crumblier than a softer sort of cheese because of the blue mold inactivity. There's a bit there. Is there any more photos on that? Yeah, there's only a little bit because the paste is too compact. But I hope that helps. Anyway, David, that's the best advice I can give on that one. Like I said, vacuum pack it, age it out a bit. Don't worry about the blue mold growth now. That's all done and dusted. See if you can get a cheddar style flavour out of it with a hint of blue. For the big one, if it's big, if it's like twice the size of this, I'd continue to age it to the proper aging time, and see how that works. It may be heaps better because the salt ratio may be different as well. So try that. Okay, do we have any more? If I pick the right screen. No, that's it. This next one is from Eco Blue Farms. And I don't know who Eco Blue Farms is. That's their name in the email. It says, "Hi Gavin, I took your suggestion and ordered the Fromaggio machine and absolutely love it for my 2 household small batch preferences. I also work full time and this machine saves me time. This is my first cheddar using the machine. I also made 2 Goudas as well." So it's a great looking cheese, Eco Blue Farms. It's small because it fits on the palm of your hand. And I've seen small truckles like this of cheddar. No problems at all. There's a company in Tasmania, I can't remember the name, but they make small truckles like this. And they actually cloth bind them as far as cheddars go. I probably wouldn't cloth bind it because it'll dry out too quickly before it's my cheese. But it is a cute size. I think this might be a double batch. because when I made a cheddar in the fromager, or a stir curd cheddar as it was probably half the size of that with the 3 litres of milk. So I think this might be a 6 litre milk, a 6 litre cheese, so a double batch in the appropriate mould. But it is cute. They do make small cheeses, but if there's only 2 of you, right, it's perfect. Or 1 of you. It's a perfect little machine to make cheese at home without too much fuss. I got no hassles recommending the machine. I certainly haven't been disappointed, except for the issues that I had up front where there was just not enough salt in any of the recipes, and that was rectified after my recommendations back to them. And as far as I've seen on the app and in the Facebook group that's for Fromaggio users, a lot of people are very happy with the machine. Okay. So, just I think that at one sitting. Yeah. Me too. Okay, the next one is from Fiona. Oh my goodness, Fiona, you've got such a cheese fridge. That's absolutely massive. All right, so let's get through this email. This is a big one. Hello, Gavin. I'd like to thank you for all your cheese wisdom and advice over the years. I don't think my cheese making would have come so far without your help and inspiration. Thank you, Fiona. I really appreciate that. And this is Fiona Anderson, who I think is in the chat. Hang on. Got a frog in my throat today. Fiona goes on to say, I've been testing out my new Inkberg controller on a second-hand fridge, and today we finally put it into operation. From top left, there is saffron infused. All right, can we get, how close can we get? Oh, nice. Top left. So that'll be that one. These ones look like bits of cheese. Is that the saffron infused? Anderson's curd and something. No, is that the saffron? Yeah, all right. Saffron infused. And then, all right, this piece is Cabra Alvino. And then we got ale and mustard seeds. And then we got a Leyden, which is a cumin seed Dutch-style cheese. And then the waxed one is a caraway cheddar. And then we got rosemary and olive oil Asiago. Very nice. Then down here, this is a intoxicated Tom or Mark. So using the leftover grapes from the winemaking process. So that is spectacular. Hope you send some photos through when that one's done. That one looks excellent. The next one is a Romano, which is your most recent addition. That's a nice tall Romano. The next one is Montazio. And then there's the smoked paprika Hispanico. Nice. Love it. And then down here, that's a cloth-bound cheddar. Yep, with the mould on the outside. Very cool. And finally, and there's just chunks down the bottom. Right, so this one here is the Hispanico that I dry brushed for the first time today and rubbed with olive oil. Okay. Yeah, you may need to vacuum pack that one as well eventually. It depends on how thick you want the rind, Fiona. But yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And you got a drawer for all the bits, which is just amazing. And they'll age at their own, they'll just age as they do. A little bit cooler down the bottom there. Or is it a little bit warmer? That'll be a little bit warmer down the bottom, I think. I can't remember. Whatever crispers do. But yeah, overall, and you got some of the door as well. Is that right? Yeah, very cool. Congratulations, Fiona. That is just spectacular. I love happiness is a full cheese fridge, Got a t-shirt that on it as well. Oh, good on you. Good on you. Next one. Thank you, Fiona. The next one is from Jacqueline Welsh. Jacqueline has sent me a swag of photos, and she's tried to remove the background on some of them. and they kind of look a little bit funny, but that's okay. So let's get into this. Says, hi Gavin, here are some pictures of my recent cheeses using your recipes. The first one is a Jarlsberg coated in real beeswax, and I can see that it's kind of swollen. I don't know what the apple's doing on top there. Apple and Jarlsberg does taste nice, but not during the ripening phase. Just one thing with beeswax. It tends to, as it gets colder, it tends to crack. Unlike microcrystalline wax, which is specifically made for cheese making, which doesn't crack. It'll split if the cheese expands too much. But sometimes beeswax, when it gets cold, it'll crack. And you won't notice the crack until after you've opened the cheese up and it's full of blue mold or white mold or what have you, right? Any sort of infection. So just be careful when using pure beeswax. Like I said, it tends to crack. It doesn't stretch as well as microcrystalline wax. So, but other than that, it looks like it's progressing well. The next photo is also from Jacqueline. This is her Gorgonzola Dolce, which was very blue. I can see some lovely veining there. Best cheese I have ever made. Yum. Nice. Is there any more photos of that one? Yeah, there it is, all cut up. That is going straight to the pool room. That is a great thumbnail. I love it. Thank you, Jacqueline. But magnificent looking cheese, and I bet it was creamy and delicious. A little bit harder than the Gorgonzola Dolce, but it's a great looking cheese. Look at that veining. That's magnificent. I'll even get in closer. Oh, great job. Well done. Now that's a blue. All right, cool. The next one is, this is a Stilton, which is failed. So I can tell it's failed because all of the Penicillium Roqueforti has died. See how it's gone orange? That is the Penicillium Roqueforti after it hasn't got enough oxygen. That's what happens. So it says, I didn't realise my blue liquid mould was expired, so this cheese didn't have any blue veins. I don't think it's a case of the blue mould being expired. I can see, I can see a little, no, maybe not. Maybe that's Geo. You could be right, you know. Blue mold, liquid blue mold culture, and we sell it as well, is very susceptible if you don't keep it in the freezer, and it spends too much time out of the freezer, and past its best before. The best before date is very specific on those liquid blue molds. They're best for vegan cheeses because they don't have any lactose added into the, say, like a freeze-dried one. So yeah, they are a bit finicky, but they are good, but not past the best before date. But yeah, that's a shame. I hope it tasted all right. I'm sure it did taste all right because it would have been very creamy. Anyway, and you got a little cheese platter going on over here. Sneaky one on the side here. Didn't tell me about that, did you? There we go. And there's some of the other blue cheese. It looks like some cheddar with some crackers. I hope you bought enough for everybody. All right, moving right along. The next one is, this is still Jacqueline, and this one is, this is a Colby, which is the first cheese I made during using your YouTube recipe. All right, fantastic. And this is also Jacqueline. I don't know if there's any sound. There may be. No, it doesn't look like it, because I don't have the sound for this page. So this is her. Let me just say, my husband made this electronic stainless steel stirrer for my birthday. It has 2 paddles. We're now busy designing a whisk attachment for stirring. It is a noisy device. Yeah, I can attest to that because I heard it. It's noisy, so they're searching for a quieter motor, but it looks good. So it fits on top of the pot. So it's all stainless steel. So it is a nice little setup there. And yeah, it's all easily cleanable, stainless steel, everything's. And it sits in the pot size she's using perfectly. So great little device. Can I just go back? Will it let me? Hey, there we go. Right, so there we go. There's an expander view. There we go. I can't see the motor. It's obviously up top, but yeah, that looks ingenious. Can I see the paddles? There is some paddles there moving the curds around. Yeah, that looks good. That's nice. I like it a lot. Anyway, that's great. Thank you, Jacqueline, for sharing that. Jacqueline has some more cheeses. This one's also the Colby that you made. So that's a second shot. That's at air drying. The next one is homemade cheese harp. Very nice. Just make sure you sanitize it properly, because yeah, you'll get all sorts of things lurking in it if it's not sanitized properly. Very hard to do. The only way I sanitize my cheese harps now, obviously I wash them in the dishwasher first on a hot wash, but I've got a stainless steel one now, and I boil it because it's got stainless steel strings. Not has this one got stainless steel, or are they fishing wire? Right, that's fishing wire. So the best way you can sanitize that is using Star San, is what I highly recommend. Otherwise, you're never going to get rid of any stray bacteria, yeasts, or molds that may be on there. So you soak that all in Star San for, I think it's about 3 minutes minimum for Star San, and then yeah, you'll be good to go. After you've thrown it through the dishwasher on a hot wash, that'll get rid of any bits and stuff. Also, I made your first basket made for me by my husband. You got a very ingenious little husband going on there. He's a keeper. So get into anybody who makes you cheese making equipment. Congratulations. So that looks like it's made out of a food grade plastic bucket, which is cool. And then says you bought a couple of good baskets from you after I made the Colby. Oh, good on you, mate. All right, the next one. This is a queso fresco with chili. Looks lovely. I like the plate too. Nice design. But yeah, the cheese looks spectacular. How close can we get to it? Nice quality photo. All right. So yeah, cheesy. You got the chili seeds and the chili bits, and oh, so good. And the great thing is with the queso fresco, you eat it straight away, and it's just salty, spicy, very, very nice. So yeah, that's a good one. Alrighty. The next one, this is a kefili I made years ago when you said it was your wife's favourite cheese. Thank you, Jacqueline. Yeah, it's probably still her favourite cheese when I make it. Next one is a Stilton that I've just pierced and is ready for the ripening box and cave. Very good indeed. Is it more looking a little bit moist there, but that'll dry out. Yeah, that'll be a nice cheese. I can see it's not very compact. It's fairly loose in structure. You're pretty good with the blues anyway, by the looks of it, except for that first Stilton. But yeah, that'll be good. And I think the final cheese, this one here, it says, I don't recall this cheese, but it has herbs in it. I think that's a Cotswold, by the looks of it. So it's got the dried chives, and I think I can see dried onions flakes in there as well. Yep. Yeah, so I think that's a Cotswold, that just from the recipes that I've made. So that looks really nice. So congratulations on that. And that's it. Regards, Jacqueline. Thank you, Jacqueline, for sending all those photos in. Massive amount. Right, Jeffrey's photos. Jeffrey is in the chat in Adelaide. So here we go. It says, "Hi Gavin, I hope you're well. The back is not giving you too much hell. Mine is the same as yours." Anyway, photos. Yeah, look, it's I don't know. It's just it is what it is. My back. Anyway, moving right along. Numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, so this is 1. What I've done over the last few months. The yogurt, the photo 1 and 2 is a collage of the yogurt that I've made in the Instant Pot. Works every time. I use yogurt as a starter culture, and a teaspoon of one of the cultures you get. Oh, and a teaspoon of one of the cultures. Right, so this is the Epicurean. I haven't stocked this one. This looks interesting. I can stock this. It says 1 litre, heat it to, okay, add half a teaspoon of culture and stir well. This is for a litre of milk. Okay, so that's for strong and creamy, and this is probiotic. So what's the difference? What are the cultures? ST and Bulgaris in that one, and this one is Bifidobacterium lactobacillus acidophilus. Yeah, so that's a probiotic, and ST. So that one will taste different than this one. But I can stock that brand as well. I didn't know they had that. And what's this one? Probiotic yogurt. Oh, okay. Is that in a tube? Or is that a bottle? I've never seen that brand before. Anyway, it looks good. And you've heated it up to 94. That is fantastic. Well done, Jeffrey. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. It's a bottle. Right, okay, thanks, mate. And then you let it cool down to 40, and then you pitch the starter cultures into it. And what he's got left, look at this. This is spectacular. So out of the Instant Pot, I don't know how it works, but anyway, out of the Instant Pot, he's got this lovely creamy, he's got cream on top, creamy yogurt. It made 2.117 kilos of creamy, delicious yogurt, and it looks really thick too. Look at that. It's not sloppy, that's for sure. That's lovely. And he's got some with some fruit, and his doggo. Right, there's a commentary about the doggo here somewhere. Where is it? Photo number 2 is my baby girl Bella asking for more yogurt, please. She loves it as well. That's fantastic. That is just excellent. Look at the doggo with the bowl. More yogurt, please. Oh, that's bloody fabulous. Good on you, Jeff. All right. He's got some more photos. Hang on. What's this one? The next photo is Colby. That one there is the Colby, I think. Yep. Good paste development too, mate. You've done a great job there. Nice closed. Mild flavour probably. And then this one is Cotswold. A little bit more. They're mechanical holes. There's nothing to worry about there. So you got your chives and your onion and your garlic. It says here, this is the Cotswold with the dried onions and garlic powder. And it's bloody amazing, as well as all your cheese making recipes are. Thank you, mate. I'm blushing now. But yeah, good looking cheese. And I think that's the Colby as well. So it's... Yeah, that is the Colby. All right, is there any more from Jeff? All right, so that's the Colby cut, ready to rock and roll. And that one is the Cotswold, equally ready to rock and roll. Very nice. I can taste... You know what? I can taste that Cotswold right now. I just got a memory. You know, you get a memory of a cheese that's amazing. Anyway, they're all amazing, but that one's just as amazing. All right, I think that's it for Jeffrey today. Thank you, Jeffrey. Amazing, mate. Love it. The next one, and we've only got 10 minutes to go, is from Liz. Liz has been very active. It says, hi, Gav. I hope your back has been giving you less trouble. So much, so. And you are receiving some good treatment for it. Medication, physio, yeah. Anyway, I know all about bad backs and how depressing it can be, in pain all the time, let alone less mobile than usual. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, you got to put a brave face on, unfortunately. I don't like Kim worrying about me. Anyway, I'll move on from that before I cry. I like the list of cheeses to be made in time for Christmas in last Sunday's live stream, which I'll watch later. It was a great question from Patricia. There you go, Patricia. And it got me thinking about 3 cheese boxes which I deliver at Christmas. Please find photos of my cheese cave attached. And the second photo is a list of that I stuck on the cave door. The 3 boxes contain blue cheeses. Okay, so that box, and that box has your blue cheese in it. Right, so having rummaged in the cave and consulted the list, I see that I only have 1 cheese maturing in December itself, which is a farmhouse blue, which is a slight variation of your blue cheddar. However, the cheeses which will mature in October and November will be even better in December, like Manchego, Lancashire, and Red Leicester. Okay, where's this list? Right, there's the list. Can we see that? So we've got... So where's the ones that are ready? You should be eating all these now. He probably has. That's a big list. There's some good-looking cheeses there. And you got some handwritten. Even got a Gruyere thrown in there. We haven't made it yet. All right, moving right along. The next few weeks, I'll make a few additional ones specifically for Christmas, including double Gloucester and a Tom. Near Christmas Day, I'll get some camemberts underway, as well as an Orkney, which Liz has shared the recipe, and I was going to make that, but I haven't got around to it because of the back. A Caerphilly and a Feta, all which mature quickly. Yep, great additions for Christmas. The Dorset Blue Vinny I experimented with recently is a real triumph. Even better than the Farmhouse Blue. Okay, I think there's a picture. Hey, look at that. Okay. I got the... which I didn't think was possible. Okay, cool. I got the basic outline of the recipe from the Great British Cheese Book by Patrick Rance and filled in some of the crucial steps from an online archive. The result is a very strong, smooth, Stilton-like cheese. It is simple to make and is the best thing I've made so far. And that's saying something, seeing you make lots of cheeses there, Liz. I've typed out the recipe below. Thank you for that. I've got that. And see the third photo. All right, is there a third photo? No, that's not a third photo. That's Persnickety's photos. Must be this one. It looks crumbly in the photo, but it's really soft, creamy crumble and not dry at all. That's excellent. So that'd be like nearly a spreadable paste, Liz. That, yeah, probably would be. You could spread it on toast. How good would that be? Oh, yeah. As you can tell, even though I'm not able to join the live stream most weeks, cheese making is still happening here. It is more than 2 years since I bought any cheese. Congratulations, and that's something to be proud of. Blessed are the cheesemakers, indeed. Thank you for your continued inspiration, guidance, and enthusiasm. All the best, Liz. Thank you. And Liz says, yes, it is spreadable. Oh, yeah, baby. All right, then. Thank you, Liz, for your photos and that recipe, which is now on my list. Next one is from Persnickety, and it's been a while. I haven't seen him in the chat. I think he works nights now. He says, howdy, Gav. It's been too warm in the kitchen, even in the night hours, to attempt cheese crafting. This is in addition to cooling that room during pressing, and with the west-facing kitchen in West Texas during August, yeah, just not a good setting, even with thermal protection layers. Several cheeses came due and have portioned out half of those pictured for sale in half-pound blocks, leaving 4-pound remnants, roughly 2 kilos each. So each of these halves are 2 kilos. That's great. One which gave me pause was Edam, made with 2% cow's milk. When I cracked it open and saw all those little eyes, I thought it was going to be early blown. Okay, let's have a look at this. Right. That's not early blown. That's just some gas production. And it's not late blown because there's no fissure down the middle. I said there was no off-scent, bad flavour, no cracking or bloating, just lots of little eyes. Mate, they're not little eyes. They're normal eyes. Especially for the size cheese you've got. Little eyes, early blowing, just to let you know, is when it looks like a sponge, right? It looks like one of those, a dish sponge, and it's got thousands of little eyes, and it usually happens within the first couple of days, and your cheese puffs up. That's early blowing. That's due to the coliform bacteria, which leaves a toxin behind and you can't eat it. In this case, these are just eye development from probably any enzymes that were in the milk, because I think you use raw milk. And you use 2%, so you must have skimmed it yourself. That's my assumption anyway. Now, I did use MM100, which is my go-to for chowder and its variants, which has some gas production. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it gave a few more weeks, and I did a resample, and it was, as before, a pliable, easy melting orange cheese with no... I think there's another photo. There you go. Melting cheese with no offensive issues. One of my clients requested a taste and has since bought 2 pounds of it. I think that's fine, mate. I don't think that's too much problems at all. Especially using MM100. I'll need to make another orange Edam, this time with the full amount of annatto. One made with half of what the rest have recommended. So let's see if it repeats. All the best to Kim and the doggos. Curd Nerdly Persnickety. Thank you, mate. I think that's it. That's all the photos. What time is it? Oh, right at time. I'm glad we started early. Goodness me. Thank you to everyone. There is one question. I might just reply back to him via email because it's specific about, and it's from David Kelly. Thank you, David, for sending it in. There's no photos, but I will reply back to it via... I've run out of time, so I'll reply back to it via email for you, mate, because it's an interesting question. Or I could roll it over till next week. Yeah, let's roll it over to next week. So I'll put the file into next week's episode. So David Kelly, before I forget, roll over. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Oh, and you're there. Sorry, mate. I didn't realise you were there in the chat. I'm just running out of time, buddy. But yeah, I'll reply back to you, David, in email, mate. All right, let's get back to my head. Thanks, everybody, for... get rid of that. Thanks, everybody, for sending in your photos. They are amazing. If you want to send in your photos, you can do it 2 ways now. 2 ways. You can send me an email, and you can do that by going to the channel page, and on the channel page, so you just go look for Gavin Webber, with the bloke with the tick. Many imposters. This is the one Gavin Webber, and he's got the tick, right? So then you go to this bit that says more. I'll do that again, just down here, or where it says 4 more links, doesn't matter, either or. And you go down here and you go to this email address here. And that's where you send your photos and a description of your cheeses or what the issue is or what have you. Or alternatively, you can go to the Discord server, which is this link here, and I'll click on that, see if it comes up, see if it logs me in. Yep, okay, I'm already invited, so I'm there. Oh, we got Mad Merv. Merv's there as well. Good on you, mate. How many more channel members have we got? Oh, I got a few people there. Nice. That have come along. Oops, let's go and take my medicine. So we've got a few people. So in the Discord, like I said, just click on that link and go down to cheese photos and pop in your cheese photos in a description, and I'll be able to grab those and put them.
Hey, business insurance with Kim Webber and Gavin Webber.
Alexa, stop. She's telling me business insurance. I've already paid it. Stop it, Alexa. Anyway, so there's a Discord. Go and check that out. Throw me a few photos, whatever. Say g'day. And if I'm in the voice chat, or if I'm online, go and say g'day there. That'd be good to have a chitty chat. If I'm gaming, I'll be in the gaming chat ones. So yeah, and that's over at Curd Nerd Gaming. If you want to go and check that out, if you're into Star Trek, right? I've got a new Star Trek game that I'm playing Thursday night, But yeah, that would be cool. And what's the other one? I'm playing Elite Dangerous a lot, which is a space game, space simulation. Very good. And there's a squadron. Well, I'm in a squadron as well, so that's great fun as well. Starting to do squadron things, but yeah, all good, all good. Anyway, if you're in Australia and you want to go and check out, the store. I don't know if this is working. Is this working? No, this is not working. Lower third is not working. Okay, so pop out over littlegreenworkshops.com.au for all your cheese making supplies and ingredients. We ship all over the world except to the US and sanctioned countries at the moment, which is a shame. Okay, and obviously if you love the merch shelf is down below under the video, and you can pick up the Talk Curdy to Me mug. You saw the t-shirt last week. It's in the wash. It's not clean. I was going to wear it again this week. I said, Kim, where's my shirt? She goes, I haven't washed it. I went, oh, that means I haven't hung it out. So, yeah, maybe I should wash my own clothes. I'm getting a bit old. You know that. Anyway, moving right along. Thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. Guess what? I'll see you next week. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.